Well, do you wonder what you'll do when you retire? You're not alone. Our next guest and his wife had to consider a problem that many retirees have to face. How do you keep working after you retire? Sheldon Weiner from Egan, Berger and Weiner is here with us this morning to explain what you guys dealt with in your home when your wife was ready to retire from the corporate world. So what happened? You don't often hear people saying, I want to get back to work after I retire.
Well, on the contrary, I hear that all the time.
All the time.
I've been working with people getting ready for retirement for 35 years now. And people often decide after they've retired that they miss work. They're bored. They miss the everyday humdrum going to work and all. So they want to do something.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly having people ask me, should I get a job? Should I open my own business? A lot of people have experience in those areas and want to do that.
So your wife had worked in the corporate world.
Correct.
She was only 62 when she retired, which was like, you're not going to sit home and do crossword puzzles all day, right?
That's correct. My wife was becoming a glorified babysitter for the grandchildren, and she wanted to do something else, so she came upon this new franchise for her. And before we invested, we decided to have a game plan, what we needed to do to prepare for this part of our
let's talk
life.
about some of the factors that people should consider before they go down that line.
Okay. First thing you need is a business plan. You got to decide what you're going to, are you manufacturing something, are you selling something, who you're going to sell to, where you're going to be located. You need a plan to do all of that. Next, you need to talk to professionals. You need to talk to an attorney, a CPA, find out what type of business entity you want to be, a single proprietor, a corporation, you get all that type of things worked out. Then we had to sit down and talk about my wife's credentials, what she has done well, where her experience is, what she doesn't do as well, and how that's going to fit into what we're doing.
Might not be the best time to start something brand new and try to pick up, do something you're really good at that, you know, what you learned in the corporate world you can bring into your personal life.
Exactly. So we wanted to do that. Then we had to consider how we were going to finance it. Do we pay for it out of pocket? What are the costs going to be? I discovered no matter what we estimated the costs, it turned out to be higher than we really thought they would be. But can we get the financing, and how's the best way to arrange it? Then we had to consider, are we going to have employees? Was she going to do this herself, or do we need to hire people? How are we going to pay them? All that type of thing.
Well, and then do you also put into consideration how long are we going to do this for? Because it's not going to be a next 30 years type thing.
We're talking about a 3 to 5 year commitment. So you need an exit strategy.
Right.
Are you going to sell to somebody else? Are you going to close the business down? Exactly what are you going to do?
Yeah, and can you make it profitable during that time?
Can you make it profitable? So you have to be realistic about all of this.
So you guys picked a franchise called Kona Ice. Why did you pick that franchise?
Well, basically my wife looked at several different things, and she happened to notice a Kona Ice truck in a different area and fell in love with it. Basically, what we do is fundraising. She takes the truck to schools, churches, whatever event they're having, and people who pay at the event know that a percentage goes back to the organization. The Kona company itself, which is over 400 trucks across the country and in Canada and Puerto Rico and other places, has raised close to $50 million that they have given back to charities and organizations. She loved this. She wanted to get involved with this. So it is a seasonal business. She's off during the winter. She comes in, works when she wants. She's her own boss. Nobody gets mad at her if she's 15 minutes late for coming back from lunch. But mostly she likes the fact that she works with kids. And she plays with kids all day long. And she just loves that.
So she's doing something she enjoys. She's still working. She's giving back.
Right.
She's not sitting home doing crossword puzzles. There's so much. What would you advise other couples in retirement to do to follow in your footsteps?
Well, first of all, you got a plan. And people don't know what they don't know. I highly recommend talking to a professional, a financial planner or some business person who can really advise you on how to put together the business plan, how to finance it, all the different things that we mentioned. Doing it yourself can be hit and miss.
Sure.
And if you miss, you're in trouble.
Yeah, now's not the time to make a financial mistake.
Right.
At that point, right. Well, Sheldon, great advice, and thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your story.
My pleasure.
And for more information about the success after retirement, visit ebwllc.com or ebwfinancialnews.com. You can also call 703-506-0030. And stay with us. We'll have more of Let's Talk Live coming up next.